Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rice Center on the campus of Benedictine University. I'm Tim Calderwood. Luke Stanczyk is alongside. This afternoon, it's the championship of the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Tournament. There's a buzz in the arena. The crowd is continuing to file in. Moments ago, I headed upstairs. The line is out the door as Benedictine University looks to win the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Championship for the first time since 2011. And MSOE, meanwhile, on the strength of Austin Stick and 42 points on Friday night at Aurora, pulled an upset. MSOE trying to become the second team in conference history to knock off the top three seeds in a row on the road. Lakeland, the other in 2008. Benedictine is 26-0, MSOE 15-12. And Luke, when you look at this contest, obviously, as far as MSOE goes, it all comes down to Austin Stick.
Yeah, Austin Stick, you mentioned the other night against Aurora in that upset victory on the road. 42 points. He was 10 of 12 from beyond the arc. It's almost like Steph Curry numbers right there. 4 rebounds and 4 assists to go along with that. And ever since Stick has come to MSOE, he's been their best player, and sometimes they like to sink or swim with him, so slowing him down, trying to contain him as much as you can is going to be the real key to this game for Ben U.
And that gives you a little bit of pause because Marion, who provided quite the test for Benedictine on Friday night, actually shot really well, specifically from three-point range. And as such, it'll be interesting to see what Benedictine does against Austin Stick. I think it's going to start with how he performs from the get-go, as if he comes out shooting, then MSOE will ride that momentum, and we could be in for an interesting contest here this afternoon. The winner receives the automatic berth from the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference into the NCAA Championships, which kick off next weekend. Benedictine looking for a return trip, as Benedictine last visited in 2011. This year in position to host, likely in regardless of the outcome, but you still want to go into the tournament with positive momentum. With that, we turn things over to our public address announcer and Bill Dorn.
Gentlemen, and welcome to the Dan and Ada Rice Center, proud home of the Benedictine University Eagles. As February comes to a close, so does the NACC basketball season. It has been a great ride, whether from the bench, the stands, or the scorer's table, to watch these two teams and these fine young men this year. Congratulations on your team and personal successes. Now we welcome these two teams to the men's basketball Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Championship. And these teams are the Raiders of the Milwaukee School of Engineering and Benedictine University Eagles. At this time, we ask everyone to please stand up and kind of over their caps as we honor America and the men and women who fight for our freedom every day, both at home and abroad. As we listen to the national anthem, this afternoon being performed by the Benedictine University Band. meet the starting lineup of your Benedictine University Eagles. At 6'2", a junior from Country Club Hills, Illinois, a guard, number 2, Teron Harvey. At 6'1", a senior from Gary, Indiana, a guard and co-captain, number 3, John Dodson. At 6'9", a senior from Naperville, Illinois, a forward, number 32, Luke Johnson. At 6'3", a junior from Naperville, Illinois, a guard, number 33, Michael Blazek. And at 6'5", a junior from Shorewood, Illinois, a forward, co-captain, number 35, Adam Reynolds. The head coach for the Benedictine University Eagles, Mr. Keith Funkenberg, who is assisted by Joe Fano, Matt Jones, and Frank Jansen.
Into the NCAA tournament. We are near capacity here today. MSOE has traveled very well for the program's first ever appearance in the conference tournament championship. Benedictine defeated MSOE twice this year. The first meeting, 84-58, right here at the Rice Center back on December 9th. That was really the first blowout for Benedictine in conference in what's become a season of blowouts. Benedictine is outscoring opponents by almost 20 points per contest. Meanwhile, meeting number 2, still a Benedictine victory, but a little bit of a different story. MSOE slowed down Benedictine in a 67-52 contest. The 67 points, fewest in a game this year. We're underway. MSOE with possession in the Reds, moving right to left.
Looks like it's going to be John Dodson guarding Austin Stick early. He's going to be the big assignment today.
22 points for Stick in meeting number 1. Hands already in the passing lane, and it's Dodson collecting the turnover, but he steps out of bounds.
It's going to be interesting to see how Coach Bungenberg decides to go about guarding Austin Stick. Is he going to stick Dodson on him in the whole game or maybe try and give him a couple of different looks?
Throughout a bulk of the season, Dodson has drawn the leading scorer from the opposition. Radlinger curls left, flips it around the arc. Stepping out with it is Garrison Gloniak on the move around Johnson to the hole. MSOE on the board first.
Gloniak, one of the 5 seniors in the starting lineup. This is the MSOE team making their first conference tournament championship appearance and have had a really good team the last couple of years, just haven't been able to get over the hump.
Blazek travels. Head coach Brian Miller for the Milwaukee School of Engineering. Keith Bunkenberg on the flip side for Benedictine. 40 seconds passed in the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Tournament Championship. At stake, an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Stick handles. Harvey's on him at present. Gloniak into the lane. Clearing out with the shot clock down to 10. On the move, it is Dylan Jones. Up and in. Benedictine has been kind of the victim of some slow starts throughout the course of the season, particularly in the game on Friday against Mary in the conference semifinals. Trailed for almost half the ball game. Johnson overshoots Dodson. One thing Keith Bunkenberg was really frustrated with on Friday was the tempo of Benedictine to start the contest on both the offense and defensive sides.
They look a little bit out of sync here offensively. A couple of turnovers to start things off.
Radlinger skips it to the top of the arc for Jones. Ball in the hand of Stick on the move. He meets up with Johnson, pulls up, three-pointer no good. Well, he misses his first attempt from bonus distance today after knocking down 10 on Friday at Aurora.
That's a quick shot right there. Maybe a bit of a heat check dating back to Friday night there. But again, that's a shot that he'll take and make with ease.
Still an early 4-0 lead for MSOE. Teron Harvey to the hole. Pretty finish.
Teron Harvey's been one of the best one-on-one players in this league since the moment he came into it, and good move right there.
A junior, Glenbard East product, 21 points in the victory over Marion on Friday. Hook shot coming from Connor Patterson, wide. Teron Harvey away, also kind of underestimated, and we talk about Harvey's ability to win one-on-one battles. He's a pretty good rebounder as well. He has it on the wing, working on Stick, backing him into the paint. Up and under, has it swatted out of bounds. Shot clock at 14 as Benedictine retains down a pair.
Yeah, Harvey does so many things well for you. Obviously a great scorer, good rebounder, definitely a great distributor as well, and his defense has come a long way since he was a freshman.
Blazik receives the entry pass, and Benedictine sets it up with 10 on the shot clock. Dodson waits, retreats, has the screen from Johnson. Dodson, jump fake in the lane, denied, out of bounds, and there's a 0 on the shot clock. I don't know why the horn never went off. And now here comes the argument there from Benedictine, trying to say that maybe it was stopped before it went out of bounds. Keith Bunkenberg really upset with the officiating early.
A lot of contact on that drive right there by Dodson.
Benedictine, the first team to complete a perfect regular season in conference history. Radlinger hesitates, waits one more for Patterson, too strong. Johnson, the top rebounder in the conference, has his first today. Harvey, all alone, spots up, buries the three, and Benedictine in front at 5-4.
Nice shot by Blazik to push that ball up the floor quickly. Found Harvey wide open in the corner.
Harvey almost hesitated. It's like, really? You're going to leave me this wide open? And Teron Harvey commits the foul on Brent Radlinger. That is his first and the first foul of the day.
It's a really good three-point shooting team for Ben U, but guys like Harvey and Blazik especially are really good in the corner. Seems to be both their favorite spots on the floor, so if you're an MSOE, you don't want to leave them open there.
Radlinger by himself, moving right. Chest high dribble, skips it into the post for Patterson. Over the top of Reynolds and a travel. Good defense from Adam Reynolds, who continues to improve as he comes off of an ankle injury, which cost him the last 2 games of the regular season.
Adam Reynolds came here last year as a transfer, was really solid for them as a rotational guy, and has really stepped up and been one of their key players this year.
The entire starting 5 averaging in double figures for Benedictine. 5-4, Reynolds will try the three-pointer, and in and out. He has the range. He's attempted 26 on the season, has made 10 of those. Stick draws the double team as he tries to work around the perimeter. Patterson over the top of the double team scores.
They've made 2 tough looks down there so far, one by Jones, one by Patterson.
Johnson, 4-3, long one, short. One and done for Benedictine, who's the top rebounding team in the nation. Harvey picks the pocket of Stick. Harvey all alone to the hole. Stick comes in, he dumps it for Johnson in transition.
Smart play right there by Teron Harvey. Sent Stick coming from his back. Nice job to get him up in the air and pass it to Johnson on the break.
Johnson loosely guarding Jones. Radlinger dribbles into the corner. Shot clock at 15 for MSOE, half gone. Patterson threw it away. The arms of Johnson creating the turnover. He does so much on both ends of the floor. Possible All-American season. Blazik for 3, yes sir!
You see the attention that Harvey commands. He got himself inside. Blazik's man sat down just a little bit too much and left him wide open.
Friendly roll on both three-pointers that have fallen for Benedictine here in the first half. 5 minutes past, it's a 4-point Benedictine edge. Gloniak waits. Bounces into the post. Patterson working on Reynolds, leaves it short. Good defense inside.
They're really trying to make an effort to give the ball to Patterson. It's 3 times down the floor now in a row.
Stick only has 1 shot attempt so far. 42 points on Friday at Aurora. Johnson on the dribble drive to Harvey, looking for another 3. And Jones elevates to control for MSOE. Radlinger into the corner, eases up. Gloniak in left hand. Ran into a crowd, looks for some help. Able to clear out with the shot clock winding down to 10. Jones hesitates. Now he moves on Reynolds. Spins, shoots, blocked. Benedictine also really good inside. Luke, you kind of mentioned it. It's a legitimate case could be made for Benedictine having the top 3 post players in the conference.
Yeah, with Reynolds and Johnson and Reamer, who set to check in here in a minute. All 3 of those guys have been very, very good this year and have been very strong defensively to start this game off.
We've got a timeout for MSOE with 13:43 to play in the first half. We'll see our first substitutions of the contest. Use this opportunity to give you a quick look at some of the numbers. MSOE shooting at 40% to begin the ball game.
BenU just a shade under 45%, 4 of 9 from the floor.
Take a look at Teron Harvey in transition. Stick did everything he could, and the trailer was Luke Johnson.
A great play by Harvey and a nice shot by Luke Johnson. Again, a lot of times your bigs don't run the floor all that well, but the bigs on this BenU team had no problem getting out on the break and running with their guards. And good job by Harvey to reward his big man for running the floor there.
Also checking in for the Raiders is Steve Morrell.
And some confusion now at the table because Steve Morrell is checking in, but he came in late. And now Keith Bunkenberg wants to know, was that a legal substitution? And so the officials indeed correct that Steve Morrell has to wait for a dead ball because he was late to enter.
He wasn't at the table, never checked himself in.
Braden Olson is in for Benedictine along with Tim Reamer. Max Wojcik on for MSOE, flanked by Colin Seibert. And one and done now as Benedictine looks to run. You can see a little bit of urgency in transition. Harvey to Reamer.
And we just talked about the bigs and how they like to run the floor. Great job by Reamer to get himself down the floor quickly, and good find by Teron.
Feet underneath for Benedictine after the slow start. Wojcik works it to Stick, and a whistle away from the basketball. It's a hold as Seibert attempted to break free. Braden Olson commits the foul. Here comes Matt Chulton off the bench, who has really emerged for Benedictine, the transfer from Elgin Community College. Chulton has a full season next year. He scored 18 in a game a couple of weeks ago to show what he's capable of doing. Really look forward to having the chance to see him in kind of an extended role next year.
There he is forcing the turnover on Austin Stick.
Stepped out of bounds.
Now, if you're MSOE, you got to find a way to get him going a little bit more. And just 2 shot attempts, and they've both been contested.
Judge for yourself. Was the left foot out? It appeared so. Benedictine doubling up MSOE. 7 minutes gone in the first half. Here's Johnson for 3, in and out. Austin Stick swoops in for the board. Johnson, a 39% three-point shooter. He does have the range to go with his ability to be involved on the defensive end as well as in transition. Here we go. Harvey takes it himself this time.
Well, that time you saw the defender kind of stop in his tracks, maybe expecting the pass to come, and Harvey just went right above him.
Wojcik pulls up for 3, draws iron, and is Reamer ripping the rebound in. Harvey again to the hole.
Teron Harvey is in the zone right now on the break. Great move right there, broke the defender's ankles, and MSOE got to take another timeout.
And it is a full timeout.
Full timeout for MSOE with 12:13 to play. Let's look at Harvey in transition, beating 3 bodies to the hole as Benedictine opens a double-digit edge here in the first half. 16-6 the score. MSOE at 30% from the floor to start. Benedictine 46%. Austin Stick is 0 for 2 to start the contest. after putting 42 points on the board Friday night. Teron Harvey, meanwhile, pacing Benedictine. He owns 9 points already, plus 3 rebounds and 3 assists. At this point, Brian Miller just trying to break up the Benedictine momentum here in the first half. And out of the timeout, MSOE will try and work it up the floor. Solid turnout. It's the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Championship game. The winner is in the NCAA tournament. 3 on the way from Wojcik in the corner is long. Chulton on the weak side with the board.
MSOE 0-3 from downtown so far.
Here's Chulton on the wing. Yes, sir. Reamer found in the opening. And Chulton with a mid-range J.
A great find by the big. Nice pass out of the high post.
Seibert obstructed. And contact on Braden Olson, his second foul. You know, one of the things that's interesting is when you look at Benedictine, you figure they're a very good rebounding team, which you can tell just simply by the size. They shoot the ball very well, second nationally. But Benedictine leads the nation in field goal percentage defense. Usually you're kind of one extreme or the other. It's very rare you have a team who shoots the ball well and defends well. Stick left it short again. Rebound volleyballed around, controlled by Morrell underneath, and he scores.
Good hustle play by Morrell. MSOE needed a play like that to get themselves going a little bit.
Harvey along the baseline, out to Chulton, hesitates. Working instead for the better shot, Sean Salter has just entered. Reamer cross court to Chulton along the baseline, and Chulton left it short. That because of the defense of Tegan Miles. 18-8, Benedictine in front. Seibert has it knocked away. And Reamer controls. Chulton for 3 in transition. Drew Iron.
Chulton getting a lot of looks here. Already a bunch of shots since she's checked in.
Wojcik running the point. Spots Morrell. Back up high for Seibert. Stick steps out off a screen. 3 is no good again. Boy, he struggled here earlier this season as well. Austin Stick clearly not looking like the player he was on Friday night at Aurora. In fact, he's 0 for his first 4 from the floor. Harvey tried to spot Reamer. Knocked away. Midpoint of the half, Sean Salter for 3 in and out. And an over-the-back foul on Reamer. Benedictine almost settling for the long-range jumper right now, Luke. And granted, a little bit of a different look in terms of the transition offense, but they really need to start getting the ball inside a little more.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be a good idea. They are starting to settle, especially with their bigs. A lot of them are starting to camp out around the perimeter like a little bit too much. And I see Reamer and Salter and those guys try to pound it inside.
Offensive foul. Patterson, the guilty party, the 6'6 senior from Arizona.
And Tim Reamer, at least in his past couple of years, he's averaged about 10 or 11 charges a year, so it didn't surprise me to see him take one right there. I'll tell you what, charges aren't tracked, but if they were, he'd probably be one of the career leaders at Benedictine in that category.
MSOE needed to win the regular season finale to even make the conference tournament, since they've won 2 straight games on the road in the tournament. Reamer with the shot, but before came a foul.
And Reamer just so strong. I would go as far as to say he might be the strongest big in this conference. And you get a guy like him running downhill like that, you almost have no choice but to foul him.
Huge improvement for Reamer from his junior year to his senior campaign. John Dodson creates off the dribble.
He might be the strongest point guard in the conference right there. Dodson, another guy whose offensive game has really improved since the moment he got here. And you definitely does a good job of using his strength and his body control inside when he drives.
A rejection from Salter, and Reamer's fired up with a chest bump. You know, one of the things, you look at this Benedictine squad and you see the starting five all averaging in double figures as you get a second look at the block from Salter. But you think when the bench and the reserves come in that you lose a step scoring-wise, and the reality is you just don't. They do a great job of keeping the intensity where it needs to be, and maybe they don't score as many as the starters, but they certainly don't give up a lot of points either. Here comes a three-pointer, and it splashes home from the fired-up Colin Seibert.
Seibert, one of their big scorers off the bench, averaging double figures.
Harvey the other way. Yeah, 45 three-pointers for Seibert on the season. He's averaging over double figures. Has started 22 games this year, but coming off the bench in a reserve role today. And he'll try again. Well short, but follows the shot. Top of the arc, three-pointer coming from Alex Darville. And here comes Benedictine looking to run. Teron Harvey for three, in and out. Offensive rebound, though, for Reynolds.
Great hustle right there by Reynolds. Fought off two guys there.
Blazik underneath off the feed from Dodson.
The one thing that jumps out at you about Benny is just how unselfish his team is. Like, everyone looks to make the extra pass right there. Dodson had a nice look at a three, but found a cutter down low instead.
All season long, the only story that I've been told repeatedly by the coaching staff is that this truly is a team. Yes, there are some great individual performances, but that's what makes it tough because you can't really key on one specific player. Every game this year, all they've wanted to do is win. Here's Johnson for three. Luke Johnson makes it a 16-point Benedictine lead.
And Harvey's been scoring the ball all night, was wide open again there, and instead he found Johnson for three.
It's almost case in point to what we were discussing moments ago, just working for that extra pass. Thrown away. Harvey, the no-look ahead feed to Blazik in transition, who decides to slow down. And now it's Dodson for three. A little bit long, but Luke Johnson keeps the rebound alive. Johnson in front of the MSOE bench. Off the mark, and Patterson controls for MSOE. Seibert steps back, in and out. Another board for Johnson, and a timeout for Benedictine. With 6:47 to play in the first half, a 16-point margin for Benedictine, who spends a 30-second timeout.
The last time I looked at the numbers, shooting percentages were almost even. You take a look now, Benue at 52%, MSOE at 24%. So just like that, the shooting percentages have changed drastically in this game, and Benue's defense has really tightened up.
MSOE 0 of 5 from three-point range. Benedictine just 2 of 8. Rebounds are dead even right now at 11 apiece. But 10 of those have come on the defensive end for Benedictine. Only one offensive rebound to this point, and yet a 16-point margin on the board.
Storyline of this game so far for MSOE, Austin Stick, still no points, 0 of 4 shooting. He's back out there now, and they really need to find a way to get him going and quickly if they don't want to fall out of this one.
Dodson swings it around to Johnson. He looks for the trailer. It's Reynolds, and a foul.
And these bigs, not only are they big and strong, they're so quick too. You get a guy like Reynolds, much like Reamer, he's coming downhill right there. You really have no choice but to make some contact with him and put him at the line.
Reynolds is a junior. He's averaging 11 points and 5.8 rebounds. 65% of the line this year, misses the first. This is the first trip to the free throw line for either side here in the opening 20 minutes of play. And no good on either attempt. A foul on the rebounds. Blazik charged.
5 team fouls for Benue just far. MSOE with just 3.
NCAA tournament pairings are announced on Monday morning. Austin Stick tries to create for himself, and his struggles continue here in the first half. Transition as Dodson pulls up. Reynolds on the move, denied underneath. And Seibert with the block as Benedictine retains.
Good defense right there by MSOE. Once again, Bennu coming up the floor quickly, but nice job the collapse on Reynolds there.
How about this as kind of an interesting sidebar? Benedictine University women's basketball team knocked off MSOE in the first round of the conference tournament, ending their season. And now the Benedictine men have an opportunity to end the season for MSOE as well. Johnson just couldn't finish off of the entry pass. Stick pulls up, and he finally has his first bucket. 1 out of 6 for Austin Stick to begin the game.
I'm sure he's breathing a sigh of relief after seeing that one go down.
22.5 points per game this year. Cove Player of the Year in the conference last season as Luke Johnson responds.
Johnson beats the double there, spun right out of it.
He, of course, shared the Conference Player of the Year award with Tim McGinty of Benedictine, which I think is one of the reasons why so many people didn't expect to see this kind of year coming from the Eagles as Stick scores again. You lose the Conference Player of the Year in McGinty. Here's Reynolds ahead, and on the ground, a foul. 4th against MSOE.
Dotson almost just threw that pass there, kind of threw it off his body. Ended up in the hands of Reynolds anyway.
That's his first and number 4 for the Raiders.
Teron Harvey looks for the cutter. It's Johnson off the window. It won't fall. Stick with the board. Closing in on 5 minutes to play in the first half. Stick with a long 3, and he's found his touch. He's made 3 in a row.
We know we can get hot in a hurry, so Bennu's got to continue to stay tight on him. You can't take off. Johnson
on his knees, and let's see, we got a jump ball, I believe. Arrow is with Benedictine. It's really a good job of Johnson to be able to hang on at the bottom of the pile and kind of save the possession. Reamer enters for Benedictine. Wojcik and Miles for MSOE. And they're asking for the mop to come out.
Yeah, everybody was diving on the floor for that play right there. Saw a bunch of different guys. Johnson was down there for Bennu, and then about 3 or 4 red jerseys jumped down there to try and corral that jump ball.
Benedictine has been in control from about the 3-minute mark on after a little bit of a slow start. Blazik steps back from 13, he hits.
Nice step back move right there for Michael Blazik. It's something he's added to his repertoire this year.
Everybody obviously knows he has the outside game. When all is said and done, could go down as one of the best 3-point shooters in program history. Scored the 1,000th point of his career earlier this season. Stick creates again. Air ball, Luke Johnson with the rebound. Student section lets Stick hear about it as Dodson is fouled. One of the fun things about this year has just been kind of the hype that has grown on campus and the student section numbers that have continued to show up in force.
Remember when I was a student here, the 4 years I was here, it was sometimes you'd have some great crowds, sometimes you wouldn't, but this year every time I look, it's always packed in that student section.
Harvey traveled.
How about today, the beach theme out there? See a bunch of students in Hawaiian shirts and some sunglasses, some bucket hats out there as well.
Connor Patterson returns for MSOE. Working his way across is Radlinger. Moving right for Stick. Another 3-pointer. Off target. Johnson muscles away the rebound. Johnson has great vision from the top of the key as well. Blazik on the move. In and out. Kept it alive and a push.
Nice job by Blazik there, not to give up on the play. And somehow standing underneath the net and somehow was able to get up there and get a hand on it.
Brent Radlinger with a foul. 6 now on MSOE, so free throws the rest of the way for Benedictine. Blazik left it short, but there's Harvey to clean up.
Harvey, the inbounder, they forgot about him, just snuck right in there for the rebound.
Radlinger up high. Hands it off to Wojcik. From 18, connects.
And a basket for the Raiders.
Wojcik's first bucket of the game.
Wojcik.
Benedictine slowing down a little bit on the offensive end. Credit to MSOE, who has really started to try and force Benedictine inside. Speaking of the inside game, here's Reamer, and no. But Benedictine will retain because Wojcik couldn't secure. It's off his knee and basically punted into the student section.
Yeah, MSOE coming with a lot more double teams now.
That caught the glasses of our cameraman, Steve Waltman, down there.
Steven, a dangerous spot right there, right next to the basket.
A hold.
I'm going to call that on stick, I believe. That's going to be his first.
Bonus time for Benedictine. It'll be Blazik headed to the line.
Especially with the Benue bigs, just like MSOE really doubling them, especially when they get down in the post. Something they didn't do at the beginning of the game.
First free throw for Benedictine successful today. Adam Reynolds missed both of his attempts earlier. For Blazik, a 66% shooter this year. And the second follows suit. 15-point edge, 35-20. Just over 3 minutes left in the first half. Radlinger to the corner. Up high to Stick. Stick on the move. Tries to float it home. And Johnson with a good closeout. Benedictine in transition. Spin move, Blazik. Oh, baby.
What a move right there by the junior Blazik. Yeah, people sometimes think of him as just a shooter. He's the furthest thing from that. He's got a lot of game.
Second look at Blazik's. Blazik now with a steal as well. In transition, short. 7 points for Blazik in the ball game.
He made that might have brought the roof down in this place.
Largest lead at 17 here in the first half. Radlinger waits. And a hold underneath. John Dodson pointing to himself right away, saying that's on me.
John Dodson called for his first foul.
Matt Chalton enters. Colin Seibert on for MSOE.
And Matt Chalton for Benedictine.
2:11 left in the half. Benedictine looking, Stick steps out for what would be a second ever Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference tournament title. The first of those came in 2011.
I remember sitting where all those students are sitting right now for that game back in 2011. Nate Green and Cam Snelling, Drell Tribble, some of those guys. That was a great team that year.
Boy, I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd as well. The alumni base, the staff, the faculty on campus and in athletics, all been energized by this team, which is a little over 20 minutes away from moving to 27-0 on the year. 10 first place votes for Benedictine in the D3Hoops.com top 25. Harvey has to hurry. Johnson will try instead. Back of the rim. Chalton kept it alive with a punch out. But it's Wojcik in control for MSOE.
Get his hands off him!
Matt Chalton whistled.
You mentioned the alumni in the crowd. I think I see, speaking of the 2011 team, Brian Genslinger's out there. Another one of the key players on that last conference championship team.
Austin Stick at the stripe. First free throw is good.
Yeah, Stick 3 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 5 from downtown. If you told Keith Pungenberg that before the game, I think he would have been happy to see those numbers at halftime.
And both are good.
37-22, Benedictine by 15. Harvey takes it all the way to the hole. Olsen will try the three-pointer. And it's Patterson making it one and done. Seibert with the ball fake. Jump stop, bounces underneath for Miles, and he runs into Johnson.
Miles, nice job to get Johnson up in the air.
Johnson called for the foul. That's his first and the team's 8th.
Nobody really in foul trouble yet for either team. Braden Olsen, the only player with 2 fouls in the game.
Matt Charlton picked up his second moments ago as well. First attempt is short from Tegan Miles, who is 70% on the season, just 7 of 10. Miles has played in 26 games, making 4 starts. One more coming, and neither good, but an offensive rebound thanks to Patterson, who kept it alive. Stick around his man, runs into the crowd, leaves it for Miles, and is rejected by Johnson.
Nice.
The single season conference and school record holder for blocks.
I'm trying to say straight up right there. You say that could have been an offensive foul. He went up there with the offhand against Johnson's chest. Great job by Luke.
Seibert in the corner on Blazik. Patterson will try the 19-footer and hit.
Basket for the Raiders, Connor Patterson.
Patterson, a guy they really went to a lot early, and that was his first touch in a while.
Now they went to him inside early. That was an outside look for Patterson. Johnson has the lob. Backing in on Patterson. Skips it cross court to Blazik for 3. Oh, couple times here in the first half they have come in and out. Shot clock is off. MSOE will hold for the final shot of the half.
It's been a nice last 5 or 6 minutes here for the Raiders.
Wojcik starts to move. He waits. Down to 8. Patterson. Strong. Denied by Johnson. Reamer the rebound. Reamer crosses half court. Hurries at the buzzer. And we've reached halftime with Benedictine in front by 13. 37-24.
Reamer got himself a good look there at the end. I thought he was going to try and dump that off to a guard, but they did a good job sealing those lanes off. He ended up just making a nice 3-pointer there.
Probably realized there wasn't a lot of time left to work with. Just decided to take it himself. Tim Reamer on the season has only attempted 1 3-pointer. He made that. We'll have stats for you in a while. At the break, it's a 13-point lead for Benedictine, 37-24. This is Benedictine University basketball.
We in the spot right now, checking it out. Back from wall to wall, it's going down, no doubt. Got girls to my left, got dreams to my right. I can tell that this is gonna be one of them nights.
Whatever you need, it's time to dance. Whatever, can't wait anymore because it don't last forever.
No, so turn up that spotlight.
Gonna tear it up like we got one night. 'Cause tomorrow morning we'll be leaving. So right now you better jump right in. Tomorrow morning we'll be leaving.
So let's keep it rocking till daylight. Gotta live like we got one night, one night, one night. Gotta live like we got one night, one night, one night. 'Cause you know we just got one life, one life, one life. So gotta live like we got one night, one night, one night.
The Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Tournament Championship at Benedictine University. Benedictine, the top seed in the tournament, a perfect 26-0 record at present. Finished the regular season 25-0 with a 20-0 record in conference play. Those 20 conference wins marked the most in Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference history. Only one other program has gone through the conference slate unblemished. That was Concordia, Wisconsin in 2011, finishing 16-0 before the double round robin was instituted a couple of years ago. Double round robin means you have 20 conference games and just 5 non-conference affairs. Benedictine finished 5-0 in the non-conference slate. 5 pretty good wins. Big ones at Illinois Wesleyan and at North Central and at Elmhurst. Elmhurst and North Central are both ranked in the top 15 in the country. At halftime, the Benedictine University men's indoor track and field team was honored. 8 individuals won championships yesterday as Benedictine, for the first time in school history, won the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Championship. So it's not just the basketball team that's having success right now. Women's lacrosse started the 2015 or 2016, I guess, season. I was going to say 15-16, but there's no 15 for lacrosse. 2016 season yesterday. Men's volleyball is still unbeaten in conference play. And baseball will be getting started soon, along with softball, and of course also in that mix, the men's lacrosse team. So a lot happening at Benedictine. Visit BenueEagles.com for all of the updates. And of course, you can follow Benedictine Athletics on Twitter as well, at Benue Eagles.
It's been fun to follow our athletic teams from afar. Of course, I'm not working here this year, and maybe I'm the ingredient here. I leave and everyone else starts winning championships and everything.
I think that's obviously what happened.
But it's been a lot of fun to see how our athletic programs have done this year. This men's basketball team obviously has been amazing to follow, but goes to track teams at the top of almost every meet they're in. And you mentioned how men's volleyball has made huge strides, especially for a second-year program. It's really impressive to see how they've done so far.
Dan Buring, the head men's volleyball coach, was joking this week. His program picked up a couple of votes in the national poll. He says, apparently Keith Bunkenberg in men's basketball had a few they wanted to send my way. Men's basketball team ranked second nationally. The NCAA tournament pairings will be announced on Monday. That's tomorrow at 11:30 through the NCAA website. And you can check out to find out who where and when Benedictine will be playing. Again, regardless of the outcome here, pretty safe to say that Benedictine is in the NCAA tournament. But of course, you want to go in unblemished and keep that streak as long as possible. Pretty much anybody and everybody could end up playing Benedictine to start. It'll be interesting to see what the NCAA does with the Central region and really the Great Lakes and West. There's so many schools within a 500-mile radius of each other that there are a million different options for the NCAA. Benedictine leads 37-24 at the half, trying to win the tournament championship for the second time, the first since 2011, which was the last time that the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference sent 2 teams to the NCAA tournament. Concordia, Wisconsin also reached the NCAA tournament that year, hosted and lost to a Wisconsin State school in the first round. Benedictine went to Worcester and played a nip-and-tuck nail-biter against the top team in the Great Lakes region, who ended up heading all the way to the national championship game. Benedictine shot 41% in the first half, so really not a world beater. 16 of 39. They struggled tremendously from outside at 3 of 15, so you know that the emphasis is to get the ball inside more here to start. Yep. MSOE just 10 of 33 from the floor and only 2 of 11 from bonus distance. Austin Stick attempted 11 shots. He missed his first 5, but finished with 9 points and 3 rebounds. Connor Patterson adding 4 for MSOE. Teron Harvey 13, Mike Blazik 11 to pace Benedictine, who holds 8 rebounds from Luke Johnson, as the rebound margin is actually identical to this point in the contest.
Offense and defense too. 6 offensive, 18 defensive for both teams. And you don't typically see a Ben U game be even rebounding, and mention that they're among the top in the country in terms of rebounding and rebounding margin. So I think it's a battle that Ben U wants to do a bit better on here in half number 2.
Benedictine trailed at the half on Friday night for just the 3rd time this season. They're obviously not trailing at halftime right now, leading by 13. Radlinger bouncing to Patterson to start. Stick will try the 3-pointer, and unsuccessful as he was for a bulk of the first. He's just 3 of 12 from the floor. Looking inside for Johnson, who falls to the floor. Luke Johnson in the first half, he kind of struggled a bit from the floor as well, just 3 of 9.
He missed a couple of close rangers as well.
Teron Harvey inbounding to Adam Reynolds, and offensive foul. It's a good job for Max Wojcik, who is starting for MSOE here in the second half, to step in.
Yes, I believe that was Seibert, who also is starting here the half for MSOE.
21-12, tomatoes. Yes, only 3 of the original starting 5 are in for MSOE, and it's Stick missing again. Patterson is underneath, and a foul on Luke Johnson.
Coach Miller electing to go to Seibert and Wojcik, who are number 3 and 4 in terms of scoring average on MSOE. So with the big deficit, he wants to get a bit more offense out there.
No Dylan Jones, no Garrison Gloniak for MSOE to start the second. First free throw from Connor Patterson strikes. Patterson in the first half, just 2 of 7, 4 points, 3 turnovers to his credit. He hears from the student section as attempt number 2 splashes in. We kind of talked at the outset that MSOE needed to get off to a quick start. It's very similar here in the second half as well. One of the points of emphasis for Benedictine and the coaching staff all year has been how you start and how you finish each 20 minutes. Bounce pass for Reynolds on the baseline. Working against Patterson, up and under move, short. Seibert with the rebound.
MSOE not electing to double the post on that play. They did that down the stretch in the first half.
Here's Stick in transition, and MSOE is within 9 at 37-28.
The closest the Raiders have been in a while.
Reynolds over Stick, short. There's just nobody following shots underneath as Reynolds commits the foul as well. Teron Harvey signaling for his teammates to come over and wants to discuss something quickly as Tim Reamer returns. Yeah, see, Reynolds is the only body underneath. No one else to help out on the glass. You saw Harvey coming in at the last minute. Stick, curls right. And now he waits. Seibert is all alone. Stick through the double. Seibert sends it over the top.
With Reamer out there now, let's see if that energy increases on the offensive glass. You know, Reamer probably brings more energy than anybody in this league. I think it's a good substitution right there by Coach Buckenberg.
Been in the fitness center a few times with Tim Reamer. He can pound out the miles on the treadmill too, let me tell you. Johnson off the dribble. Reamer collects.
There it is. Reamer has a nose for the basket. Got himself down there on the block. Picked up the loose ball.
Patterson on the baseline. Scores. MSOE has clearly come out with some more energy here in the second half. The only question is, can they overcome that 13-point halftime deficit? Johnson backing in Stick. The floater wouldn't go, but Harvey took it away from Stick. No look back to Harvey, lobbing inside, and what a finish from Luke Johnson.
Great patience right there from both Blazik and Harvey. Passing up a couple of open shots to find Johnson down low.
Catch and go for Luke Johnson. Back to an 11-point game at 41-30. Stick in the lane, hits.
Stick really starting to heat up now. He's getting himself going toward the basket a bit more.
I think you live with that if you're Benedictine, though. You just don't want him to heat up from outside. He made 10 3-pointers in the semifinal win over Aurora on Friday. Matched the conference record, set a school mark with those 10 threes. Here's Luke Johnson with a three of his own, well off. Wojcik on the weak side controls. On the baseline, Patterson no, and Dodson swoops in to rip it away from Radlinger. Here's Blazik, double digits in the first half. Nice spin move and a bucket for Mike Blazik.
Great spin right there to avoid the contact.
He's been much better in transition this season for Benedictine.
It's been fun to see his game evolve. It's kind of just a standstill shooter as a freshman, somebody who can really put the ball on the floor and make things happen.
Seibert for three, hits, timeout MSOE. 8-point lead for Benedictine, 43-35, 4 minutes into the second half.
MSOE seems to, as you mentioned, they have a little bit more energy here in this half. Benu's come out a little flat, so the energy has to increase here for Benu, and I bet you that's what Coach Buckenberg's talking about in the huddle.
MSOE improving to 33% from the floor. It's a little bit of a better start, as you mentioned, here in the second. Benedictine shooting 40%. That's really a tribute to the way that MSOE has been able to play defensively today. Mentioned the second meeting in Milwaukee between Benedictine and MSOE. Came on January 23rd, so a little over a month ago. 15-point Benedictine win. Game really wasn't that close, but 67 points is the lowest total for Benedictine in a game this year. Reamer steps out high, slings it for Harvey. He spins and scores.
What a move right there by Harvey. Thought he had nowhere to go and just spun out of it.
Seibert hesitates. Had his defender biting. Wraparound for Miles underneath.
They're going to get Reamer on the hand check there.
First, team's third. At the line shooting 2 for the Raiders.
Reamer thought he got all ball.
Tegan Miles missed both of his free throws in the first half. Officials, for the most part, have let him go. Miles again. And another 8-point advantage at 45-37. Ron Harvey signals and steps in. Three-pointer won't fall. Rebound to Seibert. That's been probably the best area for MSOE here early in the ball game. The rebounding. Seibert too strong off the window. He ran into the twin towers of Reamer and Johnson. Here's Dodson all the way. Look at the explosiveness of John Dodson.
Nobody came and picked up the ball. And someone like John Dodson, you would think someone would stick him right away as soon as he crosses half court.
Austin Stick to the corner. Seibert with a long three, connects.
Seibert's giving them some offense here in the second half. A good coach move by Miller to put him in the lineup.
Here's Reamer, and he'll score.
Tim Reamer.
Boy, Adam Reynolds missed a couple of games due to injury, and Tim Reamer scored 20-plus in each of those contests. Blazik reads the eyes, steps in front, coast-to-coast finish!
Great job by Blazik right there to jump the passing lane, and the dunk kind of fired this arena back up.
Blazik trying to fire up the crowd. Harvey right with them. Rising to their feet here at the Rice Center. Seibert nearly threw it away. Miles outside the lane, bounces it out. Three-pointer coming from Wojcik.
Big basket by Wojcik. That was good closeout by Blazik. Got over there quickly, but hit the shot anyway.
Quick answer as well, and now Stick with the strip and steal. Stick all the way. Stick tries to finish. MSOE is within 6 points at 51-45. Johnson high above his head and a foul.
That's just number 2 on Stick, so not in foul trouble yet.
Checking in for the Raiders, Garrison Colombia.
Boy, Brian Miller's digging a little deeper into his bench here in the second half. The likes of Jason Polesi has been on the floor. Gabe Ware is in now as well.
Is Connor Patterson.
Neither saw action in the first half. After the dunk from Blazik, MSOE has responded with 5 straight. An energizing dunk nonetheless. Brought the crowd to their feet. Here's Cholton, and he splashes in the 18-footer.
Shot by Cholton, just coming in off the bench. First time touches the ball, makes a shot.
Polesi in the lane, clears out. Gloniak crisscrossing. Bouncing for Patterson, clearing out. Stick is wide open, and he missed.
Bennu dodges a bullet there. You can't leave him that wide open.
Teron Harvey to Sean Salter for 3. No. 53-45. Benedictine. Stick around Salter. Wraps it around. The three-pointer from Gloniak. Back of the rim. Rebound Polesi. He's short. And Salter denies further chances. Here's Dodson in transition, but a foul first.
Yeah, they're going to wave the basket off.
Polesi, the guilty party.
Checking in.
Seibert and Wojcik return for MSOE. Braden Olson with his first appearance in the second half. Adam Reynolds is back for Benedictine.
Austin Stick going to take a breather here for MSOE for, which I imagine would be a very brief time. I'm sure we'd see him back out there in about a minute or two.
53-45. Knocked out of bounds. Boy, basketballs have a tendency to find Steve Holtman, apparently.
Yeah.
That's twice today. This one he was ready for.
Harvey a little bit of upset with himself after that play.
A little bit hot to handle for Cholton, who still creates for himself and adjusts to convert.
And Matt Cholton, he's become a huge weapon off the bench for this team down the stretch this year.
Patterson contacted. He nearly stepped out of bounds along the baseline. Sean Salter with his first foul. That's 5 on Benedictine with 11:48 to play here in the ball game. Benedictine leading by 10. Patterson delivers.
Patterson's had himself a nice half.
Harvey waiting. Salter stepping inside, +1.
Nice shot for Salter to finish on the play. A lot of contact, able to fight them all off.
Sean Salter with 76 field goal attempts this year. 51 of those have come from the outside, so despite his frame at 6'7", he likes to live outside, but showing he can score inside here as well. Free throw is good. 58-47. Wojcik denied by Salter. It's Olsen head up sprinting. Salter now for 3. Left it short, but Reynolds is underneath to clean up the mess.
Reynolds scooped that up with one hand.
60-47. Benedictine in front by 13. Seibert for 3. Salter controls the rebound. Here's Harvey, pretty behind the back. Chalton in the corner, draws iron. Stick with his long arms, reels in the board. The 6'3" senior for MSOE. Jump stops into the corner. Wojcik's three-pointer is short. And Chalton with the rebound. As a double dribble whistled against Harvey.
Eagles doing a really good job now of forcing Stick to pass off the drive.
Here comes John Dodson for Benedictine. Dylan Jones on for MSOE. Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Tournament Championship. Winner is in the NCAA tournament automatically. Benedictine figures to be in anyhow, so the only chance at the conference landing 2 bids would be an MSOE comeback here in the final 10.5. Jones with a hook shot short. Reynolds the board. 26-0 Benedictine. John Dodson into the paint. Nearly got it to go, but a foul.
Dodson draws the foul and will go to the stripe for Benedictine. Foul is called.
Garrison Gloniak whistled for the foul, his first.
Dodson kind of a quiet line so far. 4 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, but he's been the guy guarding Austin Stick for most of the night who's really had to work for all of his 15 points. 6 of 17 from the floor.
First free throw from Dodson is good.
Back in for the Raiders.
The senior who transferred in from Elmhurst College out of Gary, Indiana. Averaging 11 points per game. Dodson is a 63% shooter at the line. This to make it a 15-point game. And Austin Stick brings in the board. 61-47, Benedictine by 14. Austin Stick draws the crowd. Jones takes, Jones adjusts. And Dodson able to come out of the crowd with it. Dodson directing traffic, nice ball fake, dribbles in, pulls up and hits. A nice little 10-footer from John Dodson off of the fake.
But both defenders completely fell for that one. They rushed to the corner. Dodson was wide open.
Stick around a crowd, nice adjustment to score.
Stick's been looking to create for other people here the last couple of minutes, but I think he's going to have to start doing more of that to bring this team back into the game.
Sean Salter out to Reynolds for 3, well short. Rebound belongs to Greg Pig, who has come on. Another new body for MSOE. And contact underneath with 9:06 to play in the ball game. Benedictine looking to finish 27-0 headed into the NCAA tournament. Colin Seibert drew the foul. And he is headed to the line. Well short on his first attempt.
Seibert only a junior. It's a senior-heavy lineup that MSOE has, so I'd imagine next season Seibert's going to be the main focal point of this team.
Steve Morrell, Connor Patterson, Dylan Jones, Garrison Gloniak, Brent Radlinger, Austin Stick, all seniors for MSOE. Benedictine, a senior-heavy squad as well, but they still have a strong core returning for next year. John Dodson is senior, Tim Reamer is senior, Luke Johnson is senior. Adam Reynolds, ball in hand, he's a junior. Got Matt Cholton, the junior. As Reynolds scores, Tim Reamer is also a senior, if I didn't mention him. But you got the core of Blazik and Harvey coming back for next year. And a foul away from the basketball. 65-49, Benedictine with the lead. Adam Reynolds with his third, and it's bonus time for MSOE the rest of the way.
How about the play of the bench in the second half here? Once the MSOE got it down to 6, you saw Jalen check in along with Olsen, and Reamer was out there for a while, and they've really helped build this lead back up.
Short on the attempt. Cholton controls the rebound. Braden Olsen on the move. Spots Dodson along the baseline. Back out to Reynolds. MSOE is just daring him to shoot from outside. Shot clock down to 5, ticking further. Dodson shoots. Olsen couldn't save it.
Back in for Benedictine is
Blazik, Reamer, Harvey return.
Michael Blazik.
$7:51 left. 65-49. Benedictine in front. Pig for 3. He draws iron. MSOE just has never been able to get started from the outside.
5 of 21 now after that shot.
Reamer reverses. Over the shoulder, off the glass and in, Tim Reamer.
And Reamer, all that speed running down low, no one wanted to get in front of him.
And the Eagles now charged with their 8th foul. Fouls charged, Tim Reamer.
Fouls on Tim Reamer.
And checking in for the Raiders is Max Wojcik.
Max Wojcik, Steve Morrell back on the floor with 7:13 left. Free throws now for Brent Radlinger.
At the line is Brent Radlinger.
72% shooter this year. Radlinger averaging 2 points per game. Out of Kaukauna, Wisconsin. Another one headed in his direction. $67-51. 7:10 to play. Blazik scores.
And Ben, you're really starting to get a lot more going toward the rim now, more so than from the perimeter where they kind of lived in the first half.
Quick first step for Blazik, who comes up with the steal. Now he leads Dodson, and Dodson in transition.
Perfect pass by Blazik to find Dodson, and Dodson limping a little bit after that play.
Largest lead of the day for Benedictine at 71-51. Pig for 3. Reamer the board. Looking for Johnson underneath. He'll just punch it into the seats. And a turnover. Keith Bunkenberg arguing vehemently from that Benedictine sideline.
Cyber for MSOE.
Stick crisscrosses for himself, pulls up and hits. Timeout MSOE. It's a full one with 6:08 to play in the game. 71-53, Benedictine ahead.
Great step back right there by Stick. He's got 19 now.
Stick around after the contest. We will have for you a little bit of the post-game celebration. I believe the plan is to cut down the nets after the contest. Benedictine could finish 27-0 in position to potentially host next weekend. Some people are talking as though Benedictine may be able to receive a first-round bye. That, of course, depends on what happens elsewhere. I guess the one thing that teams in the Central region have against them is there's so many schools within that magical 500-mile radius that really the byes kind of get awarded geographically in Division III more so than based off of performance during the year. There's a 62-team tournament, so there are 2 byes to be awarded, which basically means you would have 1 game on Saturday at home versus a 3-game regional on Friday and Saturday with 2 games on Friday night and the winners meeting on Saturday night. Benedictine has set school records in many departments this year. Single season record for wins, longest win streak in school history. Luke Johnson is the single season record holder in blocks. A magical season here in Lisle. Looking for perhaps an exclamation point upon it, headed into the NCAA tournament. Number 1 ranked team in the Central region, ahead of Augustana, who's ranked number 1 in the D3 Hoops poll. Benedictine ranked second, just 4 points behind Augie. Dodson for 3. Hit the window, shot clock violation.
Yeah, nothing really got going on that possession there for Benedictine.
Augustana, a resounding victory yesterday over Elmhurst in the CCIW tournament. Benedictine and Augie actually met in the preseason. Very close, intense game here at the Rice Center. Of course, it didn't matter. I don't know how many people actually know that they did play in the regular season. I think Augie won that game by about 6.
Yeah, I was talking to Tim Reamer during the season. He told me that after they played Augie, they all kind of foreign belief that they can play with anybody in the country, and it's shown this year.
Surprised me. It was an afternoon, so I had a chance to step out of the office and watch the contest here. Closing in on 5 minutes to play. It's an 18-point edge for Benedictine. Teron Harvey into the paint. Out for Blazik. Now it's Johnson, down to 10. Johnson trying to muscle his way in. Short, but finishes.
Great job by Johnson not to give up on the play. He's had a tough night shooting the basketball, but still doing a good job producing. It's 11 points and 9 boards for him.
73-53 and a blocking foul.
And Luke Johnson called for a foul. That'll be his
Third on Luke Johnson, who's in double figures today scoring-wise with 11.
shooting 1 and 1. And
Austin Stick is your shooter.
Stick and checking in is Garrison Boliak.
Teron Harvey, Mike Blazik with 15 points each for Benedictine. Johnson now into double figures as well with 11. Austin Stick with 18, leading all scorers. And he couldn't make it 19 as Johnson brings in the board. Luke Johnson, a double-double again, his 14th of the season. 10 rebounds along with those 11 points. The lead is 19. Blazik for Johnson underneath, short. Stick with the board, Stick looking to run. 1-on-3, stick into a crowd, and offensive foul. Nice job by Teron Harvey to establish position.
It's a great job by Harvey to get his feet set there.
Timeout Benedictine with 4:14 left. It's a 30-second timeout.
There'll be a special presentation immediately following today's game.
NCAA tournament begins next weekend. Those first-round games take place on Thursday for the buys, so there'll be 2 first-round games on Thursday, and then the regionals begin play Friday and Saturday.
Take a look at the scoreboard here on d3hoops.com. Looks like St. Olaf up by 5 on number 7 St. Thomas with 6:40 left to go. So that could affect the picture a little bit for the bracket when it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, there are some people who think that St. Thomas could potentially be the top national seed simply because of the fact that St. Thomas has, I believe, 10 regional wins. But in the West region, it's pretty much the Minnesota Conference, and that's it. So almost all of those regional victories have come in conference play for St. Thomas. But that was definitely targeted to only be a 1-bid league, potentially 2 with St. John's kind of on the bubble. 4:01 left, and Teron Harvey will head to the line as the 7th foul whistled against MSOE. It's always interesting. There are not a lot of at-large bids to go around in the country. 2 of those could be coming from the Chicagoland area, with both North Central and Elmhurst separated, within a half hour or so of where we are at current.
He'll be shooting 1, maybe 2.
Teron Harvey eyes up his free throw. He is visiting the line for the first time today, and he's perfect. Glenbard East product stands in position across the 1,000-point marker next season. Averaging almost 14 points a game this year, along with 5 rebounds, and he leads the team with 122 assists. He's also the top free throw shooter at over 80%. And he makes the advantage 21 with 4 minutes even to go. And John Dodson is frustrated on defense, saying, what else can I do on Austin Stick? When you think about it, Benedictine has pretty much done everything right against Stick. I mean, the guy was 10 of 12 from three-point range on Friday. He's only 1 of 8 from there today, and just 8 of 20 from the field overall. He owns 20 to lead all scorers. Connor Patterson at 10 for MSOE.
Yeah, you take a look at Stick, he's going to end up right around his average, probably a little bit more than that. He's averaging 22 a game, but it's taken him 20 shots to get to that point. He's 1 of 8 from downtown.
Under 4 minutes left. 75-56. Benedictine by 19. Teron Harvey with the ball in his left hand, crossing over to the right. Shot clock is half gone. Reynolds for the cutting Blazik.
Great cut again by Blazik. He's done that a couple of times here in the second half, getting himself going toward the basket for the easy layup.
Austin Stick short in the lane. He has been clearly frustrated throughout the course of the afternoon.
You can see now he's trying to take matters into his own hands.
Teron Harvey bouncing for Johnson. Down to 3 minutes left and a travel.
Jones kind of pulled the chair out from underneath him there, started backing up, and Johnson almost fell down. Johnson out of Wheaton Academy, Chicagoland area. I remember seeing him play in high school a couple of times, so it's been fun for me to see him all the way from his high school career till now.
Gloniak's 3 draws iron not once but twice. And Johnson with yet another board for Benedictine. Rebounds 45-37 in favor of Benedictine. Number 1 rebounding team in the country. So many things have gone right for this team. Offensively, defensively, in the top 10 nationally in about a dozen categories or so. Harvey couldn't connect. Austin Stick with the long three-pointer, well short. And Blazik runs into the body of Gloniak, but no call. Keith Bunkenberg telling his team to slow down with 2 minutes to go. 21-point edge for Benedictine. Looking for NACC tournament title number 2. Return to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2011. Inside for Johnson from Harvey, and he beats the buzzer with a bucket.
Good composure right there by Johnson to finish that play off.
Seibert tries the three. That'll trickle its way out.
See Harvey a little gimpy coming up the floor. I think he took a Charlie horse on that last play.
John Dodson running some clock. Reynolds out to Dodson. He'll try the three. Air ball. Brian Miller looks to clear his bench here in the final minute as Stick pulls up from the free throw line.
We're in the final minute.
Harvey to Johnson with a finish.
Luke Johnson put his man in the basket. Holy cow. Perfect exclamation point to conference championship.
Giddy up, Luke Johnson with a left-hand dunk over the top of Seibert. The timeout was for subs. Brian Miller hugging his players as they leave the floor. Benedictine saying, let the celebration begin. 51.9 left. And Benedictine in front, 81-56.
What a perfect way to cap off the conference season right there.
Mike Blazik will enter. Stick with a long three. Salter chasing down the rebounds. 40 seconds to go. Kewan Glosson dribbling. Stick with a rebound. And MSOE calling for a timeout potentially. I don't think they got it. Remember the new rules this year and say that the players have to call for the timeout. Stick missed the three. Glosson with a rebound. Glosson will be fouled quickly simply because Brian Miller wanted some subs to get into the game. The crowd is feeling it.
Eagles go to the line, shooting 1-1. At the line for Benedictine is Kewan.
What an amazing season it's been for the Eagles this year. Going to be 27-0 heading into the NCAA tournament, and obviously a great achievement to win this conference, but I think everyone on that roster knows that the work isn't done yet.
Glosson converts.
It'll be interesting to see what the bracket looks like when it comes out tomorrow, but put this Eagles team up against almost anybody in the country the way they play this year.
82-56 on the scoreboard. MSOE hustles it up the floor. Gabe Ware clears it to the top of the key, down to 5 and a foul.
Shot. Dylan Sommerfeld is fouled and will go to the line.
The crowd just wants to erupt, but 3 times down the last 30 seconds the clock stopped, making them wait a little bit longer.
The student section is singing "We Are the Champions" as Dylan Summerfield hits the free throw. One more upcoming. Short Salter the board. He will just hold it. 3, 2, 1. Win number 27 NACC tournament champs. 83-57. Benedictine is headed back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2011. A little bit of a sluggish start, but once Benedictine settled down, the Eagles put themselves in a spot to control the contest. And tomorrow morning, Benedictine will learn the opponent for the NCAA tournament next weekend.
83-57, and as you mentioned, the slow start kind of halted them for a little bit, but they just broke through that window in the first half and never looked back.
Undefeated with 27-0.
We're going to have a presentation of some trophies here as Ernie waves the flag to celebrate. T-shirts are out as well for the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Tournament champs.
Ladies and gentlemen,
A perfect 27-0.
is Steve Larson, the commissioner for the NACC Conference.
Commissioner
And he
Steve
is
Larson
here to
out there
present
with the
two
trophies.
plaques to Benedictine University, the first for the regular season champions, the second for the NACC Tournament Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, your Benedictine University Eagles basketball team with captains John Dodson, Tim Reamer, and Adam Reynolds. There we go.
And here comes
Thanks
the
for coming out to
celebration.
today's game. It appears as though the first game of the NCAA tournament will be here Friday night. Please follow the Eagles at venueeagles.com for more information on the NCAA tournament.
Visit venueeagles.com to learn more about the opponent for Benedictine, which will be announced tomorrow, 11:30 in the morning. A safe bet that Benedictine will not be leaving Lyle this weekend,
Now let's hear from the pep band.
as the team passes out the T-shirts, celebrates at midcourt, and they'll make their way over to a ladder underneath the net to cut them down in celebration here at home. On Friday, the team unveiled special shirts for the unbeaten regular season, and now they're putting on the tournament championship shirts as well. A great crowd here today. There was a line out the door about 15 minutes before the contest started. And we'll let you see a little bit of the cutting down of the nets. Tim Reamer pointing to the student section as he ascends the ladder.
Really cool to see a guy like Tim be the guy to cut the net down. Guy who came in as a freshman, really worked his butt off to get to where he is today. You see how hard he's worked in the weight room and how much stronger he's gotten, how much he's progressed as a player. Real cool to see guys like him and these seniors on this team get to cut down the nets.
27-0. What a year. It will continue for at least one more week. The NCAA tournament announces the pairings tomorrow morning at 11:30 through the NCAA website. Visit venueeagles.com for all the details. We'll have information posted there near instantaneously as well. Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Tournament champions, Benedictine, back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2011. That'll put the finishing touches on our coverage here this afternoon. For our entire crew and for Luke Stanczyk, I'm Tim Calderwood. Thanks for watching. Visit venueeagles.com for details tomorrow on the NCAA tournament upcoming opponents for Benedictine. Goodbye, everyone.